Are you tired of bad football takes? Are you tired of the same old, same old? Well, look no further. Here we give you our Not So Pro. Welcome to Not So Pro. Welcome back, everybody, to Not So Pro for our final OverReaction Monday of the NFL season, because the Super Bowl just happened yesterday, and it was an absolute doozy going into overtime. And man, was it a nail biter to the end. But obviously, let's address the elephant in the room. We got K Dizzle, one of the biggest fans of NSP in here. K Dizzle, welcome to the stream. You are now part of, you're like a more, you got to throw it. He's trying to give you a high five over there.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you down already.
I was leaving you hanging.
There you were.
All
you do
right.
hate me.
But yes, Dizzle is on. Dizzle, welcome to the stream officially. You've been in the comments now for a few months. But what do you have to say? What are your first comments here on Not So Pro?
Nothing much to say. Just ready to go. Talk about the game and
yeah.
AJ, buckle up.
Oh
boy, it's gonna be a long one. It looks like. All right, so AJ, I'm gonna give you the full floor a little bit here. You do know our topics, but is there anything you want to say off the bat? Obviously, other elephant in the room, the Niners just lost the Super Bowl in a really tough way, losing in overtime. They fought to the end. They had a 10-point lead at one point. And then Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs were just Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. AJ, I'm going to give you the floor. You can say whatever you want before we get into our comments and our topics.
Appreciate that. And Liam, you know you love it. That's why you come back every show. You know what's up. But I do want to say that the person you're going to see here on screen, there is a little bit of a front. Obviously, I am hurting. It sucks. And that's just a normal reaction to someone who's actually invested into the game and invested to a team. These guys could tell you they're there live. I'm not one of those guys anymore who gets up, screams, and kicks things around, breaks TVs. I've never broken a TV before in my life. I think that's a horrible financial decision. But I got people here like not so looking good out here. Huge supporter of the show. So thank you so much for being here. I know it's tough, but hey, keep your chin up. And just like the shirt says, it says stay faithful, right? NSP faithful, Niner faithful, man. We're going to be there every year for the Niners, okay? So it's all right. It's okay. And something that I did not have ever after a Super Bowl loss was a supporting cast. So one, I want to say thank you to these two guys next to me. They weren't rooting for the Niners, but you know what? They were there. They didn't rub anything in. And this guy down below, you guys in the chat, you guys went out there in the Discord, supported me. It made me feel good. I appreciate it. Not even my own family, like right here, Alonso A, not even my own family is giving me the support here after the Super Bowl loss. But that's okay. I appreciate you guys. For the first time ever, I feel a little bit better, but still sucks. So, thank you guys.
All right. So let's get into the comments just a little bit. We're going to cut you guys off so we can show Not So Looking Good's comment here. He says, I can't really describe how I feel at the moment, but I really thought this was our year. Obviously, he's a Niners fan. It's sad to lose the Super Bowl when you know you can't do anything but scream at your TV and hope they listen. It's not over yet, though. Quest for sits will always be on my mind until we reach it, and I promise you, Brock will bring that to us. Go Niners, and we had a great run this season. Hey, he's looking towards the positive. He feels like they can definitely be back, and that is one of our topics later on. But we're going to go ahead and jump right into our very first topic here. Where did the Niners go wrong? They had a 10-point lead in this. The game should have been theirs. They had it in their hands. They were just not able to finish. Where did the Niners go wrong? I'm going to pass off the baton to anyone who wants to take it. Go ahead.
Ooh-wee. I think I'm going to go first. I want to agree with one of the analysts that we heard last night, if you stayed for the post game and all the awards and all that. One of them said, I don't remember what his name was, but he said the Niners didn't lose this game. The Chiefs won it. I had kind of half and half agree with it. I do believe the Niners had a lot of bad breaks. They had a lot of injuries, had a lot of things that didn't go their way. And the Chiefs, looking back at the game and watching some of the highlights, there were a lot of penalties that were not called, but you got to look on both sides of the ball too. So happened on both sides. Maybe it was a little bit more biased towards one side, but again, that's just how the game works. I don't think the Niners went wrong at all. I feel like they played the same way they played in the first 2 games. They didn't have to come back from a huge deficit in these games. They were actually leading. So it was different, but I feel like they played the same play style. Could they have ran the ball a little bit more? Maybe. Run out some more clock throughout some of those drives, but it felt like both sides of the ball offensively just could not click. And that goes to the testament that Reed said. This game was a defensive game. It's going to be lower scoring than you thought. And that's just how it went out. So I think it was a great game from both sides. Just happens so that one guy has a little bit more tenure than the other. He's been here multiple times. And it just happens that way. One team has to lose, one team has to win. And I thought this was a good Super Bowl because it went all the way down to the wire in overtime. So I think both teams played great. Niners, I don't think they have to do anything different to get back here. So I don't think they went wrong at all.
All right. This is what you got.
All right. Niners lost this game all the way up until that punt where it hit the guy's leg and Ray McLeod couldn't get it. First drive of the game, CMC had the fumble. Second drive of the game, Trent Williams, all-pro left tackle, false start, next play, I don't know if it was the next play, but in that a play or two later, he gets called for the holding call with the Kittle first down. That would have just kept the drive going. And you got to jump on KC early because Mahomes in the fourth quarter, if the game's close, he's going to win it. So I think they went wrong up until then. Also, early in the second half, Mahomes threw the pick. Very next drive, they do 3 straight passing plays. Not one run to CMC, just turnovers that they couldn't capitalize on, let Mahomes hang around in the game, and then we all know what happens after that.
For sure. Yeah, before AJ goes, I'll go. I would definitely agree with a lot what these guys are saying. I'll agree with Vincent. I don't think the Niners did a whole lot of wrong. I think the Chiefs and Mahomes just experience just beat what the Niners had. I think they should have given this ball to CMC a little bit more. I think it was 23 carries or his 23 touches, I forget which one. So it's a healthy amount, but it's the Super Bowl. He is by far your best player. Get him the ball more. I know the Chiefs defense was doing a lot to stop the run. CMC was able to break a few runs here and there, but I think you should have just kept feeding him the ball, run the ball. Rave says Dizzle on live. Yes, he is. It's been a while since we had a fan join the stream. It's been well over a year.
Over a year, yeah.
Yes, sir. But I would, in my opinion, I would try to get George Kittle the ball more. Only 1 target, I believe he had in the whole game. Two targets, 1 catch. You got to give him the ball more. That's one of your best players. I know he's more of a role player, so yes, he was being used in other places in the game, but I think he should have gotten the ball in his hands more. I think he could have done a lot more with Kittle. Juwan Jennings, huge game from him. Way to step up, especially when Debo went down. He had a lot of great plays. But as far as what the Niners did wrong, I don't think there's a whole lot. I thought what was going to kill the Niners was the Jake Moody missing field goals, but he ended up playing great, so they didn't go wrong there. The muff or whatever on the punt, I wouldn't really call that anybody's fault other than him just not thinking that he was in the way of the ball. It's hard to track those things, but I don't think the Niners did a whole lot wrong. It's just Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs just had more experiences, and the ball just fell their way, unfortunately.
You see, now when it's my turn here to talk about this, I think Dizzle hit the nail right on the head. I think opposite of what Reed and Vince are kind of thinking of. It's not that, in my beliefs, right? It's not that I think that Mahomes did all that right, that the Chiefs did all that right. I think they played to the best of their ability, and the Niners were able to stop them. I mean, you haven't seen a defense go up against the Kansas City Chiefs offense and stop them how the Niners did. The offense came out and they played. The only reason is I think that the Niners did do wrong. I think that the Niners did not capitalize on all the opportunities that were given to them. Great field position by the interception. They should at least got a field goal there. The phone by CMC first drive. That's awesome. Trent Williams, all pro, all NFL left tackle, back-to-back penalties, just killing that drive. It's just simple mistakes that we're putting on ourselves. And all of a sudden, you can't control injuries, but you get Feliciano down, you get Greenlaw down, you get Debo down, you get Jair Brown down. That's 4 players right there. That's 4 players in the Super Bowl in the biggest game of the year. That's crazy. But then again, you can't predict injuries. You got to keep on rolling. And it's just the special teams. Hey, man, you yell Peter. I know Tony Romo was yelling the whole freaking time. You got to yell Peter. You got to yell Peter. He's right what he was saying, right? You got to be aware. You got to be aware as a player. Either you're receiving, you're trying to get the tackle, whether you're blocking. If you hear something that's supposed to click in your mind because you get trained on this in practice, right? Peter, fire, all those type of key words. You hustle, you get the hell out of there. You run, you blitz, and that's not what happened. Unfortunately, they get the ball and they score a touchdown that next play. So what happens if they don't get that ball in the red zone? It's just little things, right? Went to overtime. That blocked extra point by Jake Moody. That's 100% his fault. It happened in the playoffs. So you got to get that ball up. And he just did not get that done. So I think it's just a lot of missed opportunities. Am I pissed off? No, I'm not pissed off. I'm very happy that I got to see the Niners play in another Super Bowl. That is freaking awesome. Yeah, beyond blessed to be there watching that game. But hey, man, we got to finish the fight. You WWE fans out there, hey, like Cody Rhodes, man, you got to finish the fight. I think we're going to be a contestant for at least the next 3 years, 100% with this team that we have now until we got to pay Brock Purdy big boy money. But yeah, I really like your take here, Dizzle.
All right. Liam says, AJ, how does it feel knowing the Chargers will beat the Niners next season in the bowl? That's a bold statement from Liam right there.
Liam, I see your next comment. You said you're going to be back, go eat dinner. So make sure you go eat your greens, go eat your broccoli, your your Brussels sprouts. Don't get in trouble, okay? And then when you're done, get off that high chair and come back to your room so you can talk. So I'll be here.
Oh boy. All right. Jonathan Ramos joining from Facebook says, bro, your Niners, sad face, hand on face. Says, not going to lie, I won big with the Chiefs, 10 G's.
Oh,
hey, good for you, Jonathan. Good for you, man. Go out there, go buy that big truck you want. Stop hanging out with Keith out there. 0 to hit 0, but good for you, bro.
Almost twice.
I know. I almost won $50 off of that 0-0.
All right. Ray says, snowstorm in New England. I got no class tomorrow. Oh,
is Raven New England as well?
I think he showed us that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Pats fan. He was talking about Nikhil. He didn't like our take.
No. He's a Titans fan.
What jersey are you wearing? What jersey are you wearing, Dizzle?
What
do you think?
I'm thinking someone like Tom Brady or Gronk. I think you're wearing Gronk.
Active player.
Active player.
It's Mac.
Hell no, it ain't Mac.
It's Mac.
Is it Judon?
It's Juju Smith-Schuster.
Judon.
Oh, very nice. I respect it.
I knew it. Yeah, he is good. I like that
guy. Ray says, I think the Niners hurt themselves all game. Yep. Self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't be doing it. All right, we're going to move on to our next topic. And I think this one's a good one. Is Mahomes just an X factor willing this team forward? So another way to phrase this, is it all just Mahomes? Is he the whole reason why this offense works? Yeah, we're going to give credit to the defense and how great they were playing against this Niners offense. But is it just Patrick Mahomes? It doesn't really matter who you put in at wide receiver. Yeah, Travis Kelce's a Hall of Famer, etc. But can you just put anybody on this offense and they're going to be a Super Bowl caliber team because Patrick Mahomes is just going to get it done when it needs to get done at the end of the game? What do you guys think?
Oof.
I feel like he does make that difference. I feel like Mahomes is that type of athlete. He's great on the field. and he gets plays done, right? He's able to extend plays, find the open guys. The awareness on that guy is incredible. So I got to give kudos to him. And a lot of their success has to do with Patrick Mahomes. But I'm still going to retract my statement saying I don't think they won because of Patrick Mahomes. Because when you think about it, I don't know who won the MVP. I turned the TV off by then of the game, but I was kind of finding it hard to pick who the MVP will be in that game, right? Patrick Mahomes this year, I believe he did get carried by that tremendous defense that they had, was freaking awesome. When you look at the stats of this game, he was what you want to call the check down merchant, whatever you want to call it, but they didn't start getting the ball moving towards the second half when Kelsey freaking hit in the Andy Reid in the face for whatever reason, started cussing him out on the sideline, did whatever he did, like the thug that he is, and gave him the ball, forcing him that ball. That's the only time he was able to get some plays going, and that's all yak yards right there.
Not bad. I'll go next. I think Mahomes is good. I agree with AJ though. His stats were inflated by that one bomb that he threw. I mean, that was a great pass. Don't get me wrong. There's not a lot of quarterbacks that can fit it in that window. But I also believe the safeties from the 49ers just didn't play that pass correctly. Nope. And I know that's another one that AJ shakes his head at because we all said it as it happened. We're like, why is that safety floating so high when there's only one guy back there? He should be, shadowing that guy as soon as he crosses that 20-yard threshold where he's supposed to hover over him. It just didn't happen like that. But yeah, I don't think Mahomes played very, very special this game. Is he good? Is he the next GOAT that everybody's saying to predecess Mr. Brady, who you can see right there on the wall of Dizzle? But I don't think he's the next Brady, but I do think he's something else because there's never going to be another Jordan in basketball. There's only a LeBron. You can't say Kobe was better than Jordan either because they're just different play styles. Yes, they have things that are similar because every athlete is going to have things that are similar because someone did it before them as well. I think Mahomes is a special breed for sure. He's a great talent, but I don't think right now he's that X factor that's willing that team forward. I think that comes from coaching. I think Andy Reid is the X factor of that team because he dips in everything. He dips in the defense with what's their DC's name? Spagnola. Yeah, I always think of spaghetti.
Massachusetts guy.
Yeah. But yeah, Spagnola is also a guy who just played phenomenally, and he didn't even play in the game. He was calling everything that he should have, calling pressure when they needed it most. I have to give this one to coaching. I think that there were plays called and timeouts taken at the precise amount of times, and I think the coaches played very, very well, even though they don't step on the field because they know the guys they have. They know to call certain calls in certain situations. And you can tell that they definitely did prep well for the Super Bowl because they were playing well in almost every situation. I didn't think they were going to stop the 49ers that much, and they did. So I give this one to coaching. But Mahomes is good, but not as great as everybody thinks he is right now.
Okay. I'm going to play devil's advocate. I think Mahomes is the X factor that's pushing this offense forward. Yes, Andy Reid definitely deserves his credit, his flowers, etc. He's the play caller for that offense and has been able to keep them good for so long. But Patrick Mahomes has become something else. He is able to move that ball down the field, get it to wide receivers that, Rashee Rice, he got him the ball like 4 or 5 times in a row, and that's a receiver that he just met this year, and he's already built a solid connection with. I think he's able to make those choice routes with Travis Kelce very, very well, and he's able to get tuck the ball underneath his arms and run for it whenever he needs to. He just somehow, some way, he's always able to push it down the field in the last 2 quarters. Each of the Super Bowls that he has won, he erased 10-point deficits each of the times. Twice against the Niners, which have great defenses that he has had to go against. I think Patrick Mahomes is the X factor that's pushing them forward. Andy Reid, yes, 100%. He's a play caller, etc. But he's only able to call all these fancy, cool, awesome plays because the X factor that he has in Patrick Mahomes and able to dissect every single defense to make the best judgment call in the moment. Andy Reid is only able to do all these things because he has a player like Patrick Mahomes who is on his way to becoming the greatest quarterback of all time. He's on his way. I'm not saying it right now. I don't like when people have already crowned him his whole career as better than any other quarterback. I know he has now more playoff wins than Peyton Manning, which is insane, and so many other quarterbacks, Hall of Famers, and he's only 28. I don't think he's the GOAT right now. If you're calling him the GOAT already, I think you're wrong. He even says it. Like he said, "Hey, I lost the Super Bowl to Tom Brady. I don't think I can put myself there." Or I've lost. Yeah, he lost the against the Bucks in the Super Bowl, so he can't put himself in the GOAT conversation in his mind. But he's on his way to being the best quarterback of all time.
Oh yeah, definitely on his way. And like I said, he's very young in his career. He's doing a lot. He's the best quarterback in this league right now. I didn't mean to cut you off, Dizzle. I believe you have something to say, don't you?
Yeah, 100% agree with Reed. Mahomes absolutely wills this team to victory. He has absolutely no alpha wide receiver. You can't. Yeah, I think you can all agree that Travis Kelce isn't what he used to be. He's got his slot receiver, Rashid Rice, rookie, and it's crazy how much I compare this team to the Patriots. It's so identical with their alpha tight end with Gronk versus Kelce. They got the slot receiver Edelman, Rashid Rice, and then they just have all these role players that make plays when they need to, like Justin Watson, Mecole Hardman, Jerick McKinnon, Noah Gray.
Yep.
And then they just have a cheap running back, Isaiah Pacheco. We had LeGarrette Blount, Sony Michel, everyone on rookie deals. It's honestly it's crazy to think, but I see so many similarities with the Patriots and this Chiefs dynasty. And as a Pats fan, I can truly say that if they stay on this trajectory, Mahomes will 100% be the GOAT when it's all said and done.
It really just comes down to how much longer Andy Reid's going to coach, though.
Exactly.
Can Patrick Mahomes do it without Andy Reid? Tom Brady was able to get it done without Bill Belichick. Can Patrick Mahomes, when Andy Reid eventually retires, which everybody keeps saying he's going to retire, he has never or not really ever said kind of that he's going to retire. He has already confirmed that he's going to be back next year. But the question becomes, when Andy Reid eventually retires, because I don't think he's going to play another 12 years like Patrick Mahomes is going to play, can Patrick Mahomes do it without the legend Hall of Fame coach Andy Reid? That's going to be
that Tampa Bay team, though, with Brady, that team was stacked.
It was
you have to admit. I mean, they had Mike Evans, Godwin, AB, Gronk.
Yep.
They had a stud defense, too, a lot of young guys that, I mean, if you just plug Brady in there, like, I mean, they smoked Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Mahomes had no time in the pocket. He had no chance.
Yeah. No, I
think
know.
it comes down to
he was throwing dimes too that game, and his receivers were dropping them.
Yeah,
could have been closer.
I like your take though. When you first said it, like, oh, they're the Patriots, I was like, what are you talking about here? But when you broke it down, honestly, I understand it very much so. Yeah.
Just cheap wide receivers that make plays. It's really
other than like Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady have two different play styles, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's the only difference, I think. All right, let's jump into these comments. I think we left off this one. I don't know. My Holmes kind of carried, especially under pressure. I'll give this one to him. Wimby apparently has 9 blocks and 5 more assists. I think he's going to get a quadruple double. We're keeping us updated. He's a GOAT already?
He is the young Billy Goat.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Did not know that. Heard it first here. That's a pro. Jonathan Ramos says, LOL, apparently not for Tracy. Who's Tracy? Tracy is the real coach. Who's Tracy?
I have no idea.
Is that Taylor?
Is that Mahomes' wife?
No, that's Brittany.
No, it's Brittany.
Oh.
No, come on, Vince.
I don't know.
Call yourself a football fan?
Yeah, not a spouse fan over here.
Then why don't you ever back me up whenever we talk about Swift?
What do you mean? I don't.
You
have
never
to.
back me up. You're like, I'm
have
Switzerland.
I'm so yeah, because I don't care. Like, just let's talk about football, bro.
All right. Ray says Chiefs best at halftime adjustments.
I mean,
So far,
yeah.
I wouldn't call. I don't know if I could call them the absolute best, but they're very definitely good at it. Big E, welcome back to the stream, man. Good to have you here. AJ, don't worry. Chiefs were just the script Niner game would have won. So he says it was the script.
I mean, ever since you know who started getting the picture, they were just all of a sudden good again.
I wouldn't even say good. I think they just played well enough every single game. It's kind of been their motto the past 8 weeks since I say 8 weeks because that's when I really like noticed like, oh, they're showing Taylor a lot. But yeah, I don't know.
Ray says, damn, 100 Thieves hoodie, Reed, you watch esports? I do not really watch esports. I think during COVID when I had a bunch of like free time, I kind of like watched COD esports a little bit. That's the only esports I've ever really watched. But I'm a 100 Thieves fan. If I'm going to be a fan of anything esports, for sure. Yes, sir. All right. Let's move on to our next topic. And we're going to stay on the Chiefs a little bit longer. Can the Chiefs three-peat next year? Be the first team ever. There's never been a team that's ever done this. There's been teams that have gone to 3 Super Bowls in a row, but there's never been a team that has won 3 Super Bowls in a row. The closest that was the Patriots. I think they went like 3-4. What could you remind me, Dizzle? What did they do? Was it 3 and 5?
3 and 4 years.
Yeah.
01, 02, 04.
Yeah, that's the closest it's ever been. The Chiefs have a chance next year, which I think the AFC is kind of still wide open. But the Chiefs are the front runner because they're the Super Bowl champions. Can the Chiefs three-peat next year? I'm going to say if the amount of quarterback injuries happen like this year in the AFC, then I definitely think it's going to happen again. Joe Burrow being out of these playoffs completely changed the landscape. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets being completely irrelevant completely changed the landscape. Who else was injured off the top?
Joe Burrow. Oh, you already mentioned
Joe
Joe
Burrow.
Burrow,
I said
right?
Joe Burrow. That was my first one.
So many.
A lot of injuries with the Chargers.
Yeah. But
Raiders
can the Chiefs
injuries,
do it
everybody.
again? They struggled all year. They definitely need to make changes. But how do they get back here next year and win another Super Bowl? Or is it impossible?
Oh, no, not impossible. Okay. Well, we want to say, are the Chiefs the most complete team out of the AFC? I'm not going to say yes, even though they do look like that. I think they are the most solidified team, right? They're the most organized, well put together team under a great head coach. They have foundation. So yes, they are more than capable of making it to the big game once again, because there's a lot of question marks out there in the AFC, right? Joe Burrow, how's he going to look? How's that offensive line going to look? How's that defense going to look? How's it going to look without T. Higgins? Then you go out there to the Buffalo Bills. How are they going to look without Stephon Diggs? How are they going to look losing 8 starters on that team? Then you go to the Chargers, right? How's it going to look under Jim Harbaugh? In that system with new defensive coordinators, defensive lineman coaches, all that jazz. How are these teams going to look? The only team that looks good for the next few years, I'm not even going to put the Ravens in there. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of the Ravens. I won't be ever. Okay. But I'm not the biggest fan of the Chiefs, but I am a truther. The Chiefs are the front runners for the next few years as long as they stay all together well put, because they are solidified. These other teams, they don't have an identity yet. We can't say, oh, the Jets could be good because Aaron Rodgers is back, right? We can't say that because we haven't seen anything. The only team that we have seen and been consistently seen are the Kansas City Chiefs. So, yes, I think the AFC is in the Chiefs' favor.
Dizzle, you want to go first or you want me to go?
Sure, I'll take it.
Go ahead.
So, I think the Chiefs can absolutely three-peat. Do I want them to as a Pats fan? No. But
nobody wants it.
Mahomes is doing it the right way. I don't know if you guys saw the report, but he's going to be taking a pay cut and restructuring his deal. That's very, very important to bring back guys like Chris Jones, L'Jarius Sneed, Also, maybe get a few weapons around him on offense. There's a few teams that I really could see taking him down next year, and I'm a Rodgers guy. I really think the Jets could do it.
I'm a Rodgers guy. I'm not so sure.
No?
Dizzle.
And also Cincinnati Bengals. But with Joe Burrow getting all that money, he's going to have absolutely no weapons around him. And now Jamar Chase wants his bag. So they're just going to have no O-line, which he's never had. I mean, he just gets drilled every season. He's going to probably be out by week 8. And then their defense makes timely plays, but I don't see them beating the Chiefs. So I really think the Chiefs are going to be in the Super Bowl again. Who they play? I really think it might be the Lions or San Fran. I think it's going to be one of those two teams. And I mean, I know the Lions went into Arrowhead last year and beat them. Nah, Reed, you're a few years
Come
away.
on. What?
You're on the up and up,
We
but
were
you're
so
a few years
close.
away.
We were so
I know you
close.
were. You were.
I don't want to.
I love the Packers, but yeah.
I don't want to cut you off, Dizzle, but I also saw something on Twitter that says they already have power rankings for next year. It goes the Kansas City Chiefs, the Niners, it goes the Lions, and then it goes the Packers. That's what they're saying, that
3 NFC
power
teams.
rankings. Yeah. So they're saying the NFC is stacked, that those teams have identities. They know who they are already.
Buckle
They're
up,
already a
AJ.
powerhouse. So
Saw this coming. Okay, what's up? I'm ready,
But-
dude.
No, the NFC teams are coming. They're coming
Yeah.
for the Niners.
Hey, they've been there. NFC has always been there. Everyone was focused about the AFC this past season. I've said it since the beginning. I said I don't see it. I still think it's the NFC. NFC has always been stacked, always great teams. I'm still going to throw the Eagles and Cowboys out there. Very talented teams. And like you said, the Packers are on the up and up. Now, are they a top 5 team? Ooh, that's a bold one right there. Could very possibly be a top 5 team, but out of the NFL, possibly, right? It's kind of pushing it. Out of the NFC, I could definitely see that for sure, top 5. But man, there's so many talented teams out there. Like you said, the Lions, the Packers, the Eagles, the Cowboys. I'm not going to rule it. Oh, I don't know how we're going to see the Seahawks without
Not
Pete
yet.
Carroll.
not yet.
It's they were one. How to say one loss away or one win, either or, of making it to the playoffs instead of the Packers. So it could have been a whole different story. But the Packers came in and ruined everything. So it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be super fun. But the NFC have always been good. Always.
Packers are a fun team, I have to admit.
It all just depends on all these young players. How do they do into their third season, their second season, etc.? Do they continue to progress, or do they have a downslope? That's going to be the biggest thing. We'll have
Christian
to see.
Watson's the X factor with those hammies.
If you can stay healthy, dude.
He's the guy. He's the guy that. I mean,
Don't be
you
making
saw.
fun of when you got Debo on your team.
Hey, but at least he comes back.
This is true. He comes back.
Christian
least he
Watson
comes
came
back.
back.
He shouldn't have came back.
Not
You
all
see
the
that
time.
stat line? He should have stayed on the bench.
Jeez.
Debo pisses me off. He pisses me off. But whenever he
Big
was
tough
asking for
guy.
the bag, he settled for what the Niners gave him.
Fake tough guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a lot of talk.
All right. Let's jump into these comments and we'll finish this topic. Big E says, nope, Cardinals taking it next year. And he puts the Eagles. So I'm confused. Is he going for Cardinals or Eagles? I don't really know. Big E, you got to clarify down in the comments, buddy. Liam says Chiefs won 3-peat alongside Harbaugh, runs the Chargers.
Says as long as
Harbaugh runs.
Dude, Liam's on this high, dude.
Dude,
he thinks he's him. This dude thinks he's him right now because they got Jim Harbaugh. Oh, we're gonna call you Kyrie 2.0. Remember that guy? Gosh.
Jeez, so funny. Hey, I like that. I know. It's like they knew they were my parents right there.
Rafe says they need to resign Snead for sure, he says. And that's a key piece. He was absolutely a lockdown corner for them all of playoffs. So they definitely need to bring that guy back. And Rave is going to come to the defense of the Jets here. He says Jets got an elite D. They're going to have a top 7 wide receiver in Wilson, calling it he's going to break out with Rodgers. I'm not positive what Rodgers is going to be able to come back off that Achilles. I mean, he's over 40 years old now. He's not a young guy coming off an Achilles. It's going to be tough for him to actually be able to play good, in my opinion. Does he still have the cerebral mind? Of course, I think he is. But does he, AJ, back off about his mind, okay?
What did I say?
Thank you, Crystal, for liking the stream. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
But in my opinion, as far as the Jets, I do think there's a chance that they could go the distance, maybe make the playoffs. In my opinion, I think it's hard for me to even believe they're going to win their division. That's a tough division. And
Is it?
Yeah, you got the Patriots in there, man.
Who's their quarterback? Caleb Williams or what?
Spencer Rattler.
Oh,
okay.
Spencer Rattler.
All right.
And Marvin Harrison.
Oh, Spencer
Oh,
Rattler, ugly, dude. That dude ugly, man.
Oh boy. But as far as
like Mahomes,
he looks like the albino Mahomes. Yeah, in a way.
I don't like him.
Yeah, I know Vince despises him.
I saw a mock draft with the Seahawks taking him in the third round, and I said that's disgusting.
Will you switch over? Will you move to another team? Will you move on?
No, I wouldn't, but I would hate that.
Who do you want, Gino or Penix?
Don't
don't bring him back in here.
No, sir.
I would rather stick with Gino. I do think we should draft a quarterback somewhere late, but I just hope it's not Spencer Rattler. I hope it's anybody else.
JJ McCarthy.
Nah, that guy.
Shea Patterson.
Oh, dude.
Oh gosh.
Boo.
All right. This was going so well. Aaron Rodgers and Shea and
when do NFL mock drafts start for y'all? They'll probably start pretty soon now that the NFL season has officially ended. Now we're going to start shifting our minds towards the draft, as we are going to be attending the draft in Detroit this year. Us three right here, we are going to be attending. Any of the NSP faithful out there are more than welcome to fly over, drive over to Detroit and hang out with us. We'll let you guys know where we're going to be at, and we can have a fun time together. It's gonna be a cool time. We'll be vlogging it also. We'll also release a vlog after AJ hits the editing stream and gets all that stuff ready.
Yeah.
Ray says, Liam, that poop started for me back in October. The Titans stuck. Rave is locked in on the drafts. Rave is going to be our guy right now. He's going to tell us everything about the drafts. We appreciate it, Rave. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for being locked in for us. Liam says, congrats on 600 subs, by the way. Hey, we appreciate it. We hit that 2 weeks ago, thankfully, after a long day of live streaming games. But yeah, 600 subs. We're still on a goal to 1,000. So keep on watching, sharing us. We appreciate all the likes, all the comments, everything you guys do to support the stream, especially Dizzle right here jumping on the stream to support us. But Liam says, LMAO, real rave. After 63-21, I started with mocks. These guys are going through it. Dizzle, when did you start on the mocks?
We're talking fantasy or the NFL
the
draft?
NFL
mocks.
Well, Pro Football Focus took away your ability to do it without getting the subscription, so you can only do a draft or two.
I don't know why he's looking at Pro Football.
We're
not so pro around
What do you mean?
here.
What do we use? We're right here, dude. We use us. We are them. Come on, bro. Gosh, man, this guy probably thinks we get our fantasy advice from fantasy guys or whatever.
Matthew Berry.
Ew. Thank you, Chantel, for liking the stream. Big E says Marvin is ours. He's coming to the Cardinals. He's gonna have to fight Dizzle over here for it.
Gonna have to get past us first.
Yeah, so I think a lot of teams are gonna be trading up, in my opinion. There's Bears picks that could potentially be moved. The Commanders could potentially move. There's going to be a lot of moving, I think. Everybody's going to want to try to get up, in my opinion. After finding out Big E is a Cardinals fan, I know now more Cardinal fans than Patriots fans.
There's a lot of Patriots fans down here
We
in
know
Texas.
Yeah,
Quite a
there's
few.
Patriots fans everywhere.
Yeah.
Because we're not fake.
Jeez. Liam says, I know 2 Cardinals fans and 1 Pats fan. Dizzle's the only Pats fan I know. Way to represent, Dizzle.
Solo dolo.
All right. So I'm going to answer the question, can the Chiefs three-peat next year? I think as long as Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are an item, that the Taylor Swift has never lost in the playoffs. I've been saying this for a while. She is still not lost. As long AJ, where'd you go? Get back over here.
I'm gonna sit on the bench right now. Okay, I'm done talking about Taylor. The season's over. I'm not talking about that anymore.
All right,
So.
that's more of a joke. Get back in here, AJ. But can in all honesty, can the Chiefs three-peat next year? I definitely think they can. They have a Hall of Famer head coach. They got a Hall of Famer tight end. They got a Hall of Famer quarterback. They have all those pieces in order to help them. Rashee Rice, hopefully going into a second season, will help them give more stability in the wide receiver room. And I hope they target a wide receiver in the free agency this year. There's going to be a lot of guys open, like Mike Evans. There's going to be T. Higgins, obviously. There's a lot of guys that are open for wide receiver, and I think you should add somebody in that room. I think that would be a really good idea. They've been trying to fix the Tyreek hole for a while now. They've been putting Juju Smith in there, MVS in there, and guys will make catches here and there, but nobody's consistent. They need consistency in that room. You saw how frustrated Patrick Mahomes got this season. I don't think we want another season of that. Give him some stability. Give him some real weapons out there. Get Tony, ship him out of there. I don't know how he isn't cut already. He's partying with the Super Bowl ring somehow right now. He's got
damn shame.
Tony has 2 rings.
Yep.
What kind of world do we live in right now? But yeah, I definitely think the Chiefs can three-peat.
Juju Smith-Schuster has a freaking ring, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is crap.
There's Larry Fitzgerald, one of the greatest wide receivers of all time, has 0 rings.
Doesn't have one.
It's wild.
Well, he's with the Cardinals, so that explains it.
Liam says, sits no Dizzle. How does it feel, baby? Cameron Dicker own your franchise.
I'd like to personally thank Cameron Dicker for winning that game so we get a better draft pick.
Ooh, okay.
This is
Right.
for the long
Quick
haul.
with it.
Dizzle's playing chess.
That
not
game was
chess.
also pouring rain. I think that game ended in like 3 hours. I think Red Zone just dropped it off because it was already over.
They did drop the game.
Yeah. Jeez.
Ray says, I think I'm the only Titans fan in Massachusetts in the radius of 1,000 miles in each direction. I would bet you're probably right about that. I don't know how you don't live. How do you live in Massachusetts and didn't end up a Pats fan? Never met one ever before. Never met one. All right. And Liam says, I think I'm the only Chargers fan in Canada. Chargers don't have fans in LA. Liam, do you have like a favorite like Canadian Football League team?
Whoa.
Like, what's wrong with that question?
We're just not getting into that right now, okay?
What's wrong with that?
Slow your roll there, okay?
My bad.
You don't have to answer that, Liam. I got your back, okay? You're fine.
I
if you
know.
don't
I
answer
hate
that.
the CFL. It's horrible, he says. All right. Answers the question.
It is pretty bad.
3 down football is the worst. They have 3. I have not looked into the rules.
3 down football?
That's disgusting. That's gross.
That's
On 3rd down, or
yeah. You need to get 3 first down.
that's wild. All right. Okay. So our last scheduled topic for the day, and AJ, you're gonna have to answer this one first. So you better buckle up, buckaroo. All right. What do the Niners have to do to get back here next year in the Super Bowl? I'm not saying win the Super Bowl. How do they get back here in the Super Bowl? What do they have to do, AJ?
Honestly, if they wanted to, they didn't have to do anything. This experience does all of it for them. What do I feel like the Niners need to address most this offseason? is their offensive line. That was the biggest problem all season long, offensive line. And it was clear as day in the playoffs. It sucked when Jared Goff had 10 seconds out there in the backfield. Of course, I'm exaggerating. And Brock Purdy had less than 0.2 seconds out there. That was noticeable. That happened every single game. It happened in the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy was very limited. He got licked almost every single play. It's kind of bad, and especially to put that much pressure on such a young quarterback. Imagine you give that type of quarterback like Brock Purdy a little bit more time, just one more second in the pocket, what he can do, what he can accomplish, where he doesn't have to extend plays with his legs, which that's not what he's known for. I think that makes a world of a difference. So yeah, I do feel like if we address the offensive line, get ourselves a solidified right tackle and right guard, offensive center, I think would be good. It would be good. I like Aaron Banks, a few screw ups here and there, but once he's fully healthy, 100%. After that turf toe injury, he hasn't been the same. And then Trent Williams, he's already said he's going to come back for another year, even with a pay cut if he has to. So that's what I like about him. That's what I feel like we need to do. Just stay healthy and address offensive line.
All right.
Nice.
What do you guys think?
I think that's correct. Offensive line is where I think they're going to lose out quite a bit. Yes, Trent Williams said he's coming back, but we kind of see him making a little bit more mistakes. There's a little bit more holding every now and then, the false starts that we've seen in the playoffs. I don't know. I think he is getting a little older. Those fibers in him are not as fast as, just happens to humans. But do I think that he's going to start for them the rest of the season next year? Yeah, most likely. But I think they need to have guys back there who are going to hold it down just in case there's an injury, just in case things are not going the way that the Niners want on their offensive line and the way they play. Yes, they use tight ends and run blocking fullbacks like nobody else's business in the NFL, but they just need a solidified line. And I also think they need to start looking at some defensive edges because I don't know if Chase Young's going to come back. I'm sure he wants to. I know a lot of guys are trying to come back and keep the whole gang together, but there's a lot of people who want money as well. So that's just something that the league, that's the poison of the league. Yes, the cap doesn't exist, but there is some teams who will pay a little bit more for some of these guys who are on the Niners and do have some contracts ending. But yeah, I definitely think it's just the trenches. You can probably maybe get another cornerback, another safety, because we see that the injuries there make a big difference. But what they have a lot of draft picks. They're going to have a lot more with these compensatory picks. It's going to be another field day for the Niners in the draft. So I know Age is excited, but yeah, I just think they need to work on the trenches just to get back here because that's where they're really, really lacking. I feel like this year was the year that we didn't see as many sacks and dominant defensive line play like we have from the Niners in the past 4 or 5 years.
This is what you got.
I don't think the 49ers really have to do anything. They're bringing back their core, but it's more other teams are going to get better. And they honestly got very lucky winning both games that they did to get to the Super Bowl with those comebacks. And I just don't think they're going to get back there. I don't know how they're going to lose, but I think they're going to lose at some point.
All right.
I don't really have much else to say on it.
Cool. Well, I got a lot to say. So I definitely agree with what you guys are saying. There's not a whole lot they need to do, but there is a few things. They're not just going to sit around. John Lynch is going to sit around on his hands all off season. He's going to be moving and grooving this whole off season because guess what? This next year is their year. After the next year, they had to pay Brock Purdy because he goes into his third year's deal. He's finally eligible for a restructure, a new extension, whatever. They're going to give him big money then because he's deserved it. He's gone to NFC Championship, Super Bowl. We'll see what he does next year, but he's earned a big contract. And then you have guys that you have a young core, but some of these guys like George Kittle, Trent Williams, Juice, huge part of that team, they're getting old. And a lot of their contracts are expiring in the next year or two. you're gonna have to, after this next year, they're not gonna move on anybody this next year, but the year after that, they're gonna have to make hard choices of, hey, we love George Kittle, we love Juice, what he brings to this team, but you're gonna have to make those hard choices and move on from those people. You're gonna lose a lot of your old core and what this the culture you've built around. But I think what the 49ers have to do is go all in on next season. You got to bring in free agents. You got to hit in the draft this year. You have to hit in the draft. Bring in, draft some offensive linemen to help out. Draft defensive linemen. All of your weak points, obviously, you have to do that. But you have to go all in on this year. Trent Williams, I think you need to restructure his deal to create some cap space. You guys are $3 million in the hole, which isn't horrible. There's a lot of things you can do here. Restructuring Trent Williams, $31 million on the cap, which for a left tackle is not unheard of nowadays, but it's not something you should like. Debo has $28 million on his cap. That should have a restructure. Add some void years. Eric Armstead, $28 million. Eric Armstead's very good, but I don't think that's the best use of your cap. He already has 3-4 void years on his deal, so there's not a whole lot you can do other than pushing that even further down. So I think you've got your Super Bowl window, your best chance of the Super Bowl window. I'm not saying you guys don't got a chance in the years to come, because I think Brock Purdy is your quarterback for the future. I'm going to say that. But your best chance with the best money and the players that you have right now, next year is your window. It is the closing of your window, in my opinion, of your best window. So you got to go all in.
So I want to interject a little bit, because I feel like what you said is what the Niners do every single year for the past 3 years. They've gone all in every single year, all 3 years. They've gone after free agents. They've drafted very well. They have guys who they still have on some rookie deals and just paid this past year because they're balling. I just don't. I agree with Reed. I think this is the last year for their Super Bowl window, because you can only find so many diamonds and so many roughs or whatever they say. But it's going to get harder and harder. Yes, John Lynch is great. He's great.
Great GM.
Great GM. Like, I can't say that there's too many guys that rival him in the NFL right now, but there's going to be years where there's not as much talent. There's going to be years where, yeah, Reed said you have to pay the guys you really, really want to keep, and sometimes you got to let them go. Just like, what's his name, Solomon Thomas? Yeah, you guys let him go because, yes, he's great, but you had other guys that had greener pastures on the other side. So that's just what's going to happen in the next few years. I feel like the identity of the Niners will totally change because, again, how many more years does CMC have? Is he going to stay healthy again next year? Maybe this year was just one of those years, and we've seen it before. He gets hurt quite a bit. I'm not hoping for it, but there's a lot of guys out there that I think we should as the Niners should probably look past already. Look for some deals to trade some guys, get some younger guys, some more guys to build around. You know, the culture should be always changing, but there should be solidified guys there. And I think some of the guys, Debo, need to get cooked out of the 49ers. I think there's some guys that just hurt the Niners a little bit more than they bring to the table. But that's just me.
And I see what you guys are saying. I'm gonna match you guys to a certain extent. This was the best 49ers team that I've seen in my lifetime. The best, even better than 2019. And I will admit it's gonna be hard to match because, like George Kittle said in the playoffs, you don't know what next year is gonna look like. This is the best that we have, so we got to make the most out of it. Now, I do feel like the 49ers are very good at adapting, and I will say that as long as we got both Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch there in the front office, that we will always have a chance at the big game. Always. We've made those hard decisions before. We let go to DeForest Buckner. Yes, we let go of Solomon Thomas. He was a great pick in the first round. Didn't really live up to what our standards are, but one big guy, DeForest Buckner, he was the guy. He's a force to be reckoned with. Now he's out there in the Colts, and man, go out there and mad if you want to. He's a 99 overall. I mean, this guy's a beast, but you know what? We had to let him go. We had to let go of players like Jimmy G, where everyone was going nuts because Jimmy G was our franchise quarterback. We made it to the Super Bowl with him, right? But this is Shanahan's scheme, and this is John Lynch's mind as well. I think they put up very good, very, 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 very good schemes for this team. And yeah, it might not look as good, but I don't think our window is closed. I think the widest window we have will be next year. Correct. I do agree with that. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs. I think this is a great example. Look at how they won their Super Bowl back in 2020, and now look at the Super Bowl they won just yesterday, right? Two totally different teams, two totally different schemes, and they still got it done because one, Andy Reid is a great-minded coach. They got a great coordinator out there. They have a great quarterback that was able to adapt and to learn under Andy Reid. Andy Reid's phenomenal. He hasn't won a Super Bowl until his 20th year in the league. That is insane. And in that 20th year, that was when he got Patrick Mahomes, is finding the right key fits. And I think that's why they wanted someone like Deebo Samuel. But we got his replacement, in my opinion, already. And that is Danny Gray. No, not Danny Gray. Bell, the one that we drafted this past year from Michigan. He's a very versatile wide receiver, able to run the ball, great hands, rookie, a lot to learn. But it's just finding the next guy up, right? Who's going to fill in those spots? I mean, we already had Eric Armstead. We had George Kittle restructure their contracts, as well as Trent Williams. So I'm super excited for this team. I think I like it. I like it because they remind me of the Spurs. It's not about the money, right? Some people, yes, because you got Deebo Samuel. I don't know how Brandon Ayuk's going to look. You got Nick Bosa. But a lot of people are willing to restructure those contracts to make sure that they have a run at the big game.
All right. Let's get to the comments here. Rafe says they can't do anything but run it back with the same squad. Definitely agree with that. 49ers should draft a running back. Liam's got jokes. They got a bottom 5 guy at running back, in my opinion. Bottom 5, AJ.
That's what Shanahan's used to before CMC.
That's true.
Who do you have? I mean, he had Raheem Mostert as the leading rusher in the NFL back in 2019.
All right. Okay, I already read that one. Rave says Niners got a first-round pick at least.
Hell yeah, I'm going to be there for it.
It's going to be fun. All right, so anybody else got anything, last comments on what the Niners have to do to get back here next year? All right.
I don't know, man.
It's going to be tough. Liam says he's only above the Chargers running back room.
Oh, God. Dude.
Come
on.
Who have the Niners drafted in the first round that's been a hit other than Bosa?
No one.
Yep.
Maybe you should trade that. Get a couple seconds.
It's a late first round. First round, so I'm hoping it's good. We've always busted on early first rounds, except for Bosa. Oh, yeah.
And Solomon Thomas he's terrible. He's not good.
He's fitting a little bit better with the Jets, but still struggling.
What was he, a third pick?
He was a third overall pick.
Yeah,
It all started with Reuben Foster.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a legend.
He's Micah Parsons, dude. That is Micah Parsons right there. It's just Parsons hasn't gotten caught yet.
Jeez.
All right. Okay, well, that's our last topic for today. Obviously, Super Bowl has just ended. We are headed into the off season, which, in my opinion, regular season's fun. There's a lot of awesome moments, but I love the off season. So many different storylines. What team's going to do what? I'm most excited about this off season because for the first time in about last 3 years, there's no drama for the Packers, and it feels so good that I not have to worry about some dark room or what Aaron Rodgers is going to say next on the Pat McAfee show. I can just relax, weird Jair Instagram post here and there, but other than that, I'm fine. So I'm looking forward to this offseason. It's going to be awesome. We'll have a lot of great content coming out soon for you guys about the draft, about what teams should do into this free agency, et cetera, et cetera. So make sure you guys stay tuned for all that. It's going to be a lot of great content. And hey, if anybody else wants to join the stream, DM us. You can join just like Dizzle has here and been an awesome addition to this stream. I think he's done a great job joining in for us. We missed you in the comments though. There was no.
I've been slacking.
Yeah, he didn't. There was. I'm most impressed. There was nothing crazy said at all.
I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my
We
word.
appreciate it.
And I'd just like to say thank you guys for having me on. This was a blast.
Of course, man.
For
Anytime.
sure.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully it's not the last time either, but it's been an
Yes.
absolute pleasure. Finally get to put a face, to your name,
I know.
I was expecting the voice. I thought the voice was going to be a little different, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. I have a certain face that I already formed for Liam and Rave and etc. I already know what Big Money Joe looks like. But hey, to you too, Dizzle, if y'all have the chance, if y'all have the funds, the means to, we're gonna be out there in Detroit in April, and we're gonna have an absolute blast. We're gonna go to all the events. We're gonna go to outside events as well. But we're just going to make the most out of this trip. We're going to be vlogging. I got some other plans for us as well. Hopefully, we'll do a live stream there in Detroit. I'm trying to get all the equipment that I need to make that happen. But we have a lot of big plans. So if y'all can make it out there, Liam, Rave, you, Dizzle, everyone, Biggie, everyone out there, if you guys can, it will be an absolute pleasure to be able to meet you guys.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be most likely I will get in a fight with a Lions fan as a Packer fan. So if you guys want to see that, AJ and Vince said they're going to back me up. So,
but who's going to record? We got to get someone to record.
I know. We need someone there.
Yeah.
I'll put the phone down and then I'll run in. And,
make sure you get that angle.
The angle, yeah.
Just first person with the camera.
Oh,
yeah. Gonna get a GoPro.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Ray says, last comment, Kelsey needs to stay off the roids. If he would have lost, Taylor would have beaten him up, says Ray.
He would have beaten up Taylor, I think he was trying to say.
Yeah.
Would have been beaten up, yeah. So he was going to be beat up too. That guy, I don't know. Andy Reid deserves better.
You didn't like the Viva Las Vegas at the end?
Oh, dude, you saw my face with it.
It was so bad.
It was horrible.
Yeah, it was a little over the top.
Yeah.
Unoriginal.
All right. Well, as always, thank you guys all for tuning into the stream. It's been a fun one. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We are on our road to 1,000 subs. And hey, join the road with us. Join the stream. Join part of the NSP Faithful. AJ, rep the shirt real quick. And hopefully, and we'll probably do it. I'll do it Wednesday. We'll release the Super Bowl winner of the brackets. Yes, I just remembered that I needed to get that done. I should have told who was the winner this stream. But we'll get the winner out soon and let you guys know who won the NFL bracket. But that'll be out soon. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a great stream, everybody. And until next time, as always, keep on grinding.
Be strong.